Hello, and welcome to the What Life is Like with a Baby taster session. Woohoo! First of all, I just want to say a huge thank you for being here, and more importantly, a big congratulations on your pregnancy. I hope you are glowing, as they say, and not feeling too shitty. But if you are, I'm so sorry. I promise you will get through this, and before you know it, it'll be a distant memory. Especially when baby brain kicks in, because I'm still using that excuse 11 years later nearly, because it's a real thing. Now, if you've not got a cup of tea, then press pause, as this is the perfect excuse to put your feet up for 10 minutes, okay? Now, let's jump in, because I want to give you as much information in this little freebie as possible. Now, just so you know who I am, my name's Lucy, hello, and I've got 3 children. As you can see, I've got Phoebe, who's aged 10, Tommy, who's aged 5, and Minnie, who's aged almost 3 now. So they've pretty much, they've tested me, and I do mean that in a bad way, and of course the most best and beautiful way too. They've literally taught me everything I know, and I've also learned from a lot of mistakes. I'm also a nurse. Told you baby brain was a real thing. And in the past, I was a midwifery student as well for 2 years. So I've got some professional advice for you as well. Now, the reason I made this course was to help future mothers like you thrive at becoming a mum and not just survive like I did. I feel that there's actually massive neglect into the what happens next stage, and this may cause unnecessary overwhelm and anxiety to new mums who haven't had that mum friend or that role model to go to. So I thought, right, let's fill this space and help as many mamas as I can. So in this video, I'm going to talk to you about what to expect for you in that very first week of becoming a mum. So we're talking, you get home from the hospital, or the midwife leaves your house after the birth, and then that's it. Here you are with your baby, and you think, shit, what do I do now? I mean, have you even thought that far ahead yet? Just have a little think. I remember all the hustle and bustle of Phoebe's, first car ride, tick, walking through the front door for the first time, tick, meeting my mum, tick, and then the last visitor goes, the door shuts, nighttime looms, and you literally think, okay, oh my God, what now? This little baby is all mine. I have to do everything. And I just remember panicking, thinking, okay, I can't die. I can't die now. This child needs me. I cannot die. Like, that was all I could think about. Was all that was on my mind. But I want to ease all these overwhelming moments for you by making you ready and prepared. So, giving birth is one of the most life-changing events that will ever happen to you, and most women need time to process it, not just physically, but mentally too. So, let me break it down and start by talking about pain. Yeah, sorry, I'm going straight in at the deep end of reality here. So, the day after I had Phoebe, I basically felt muscles that I never even knew existed, just like I'd run a marathon. Not that I've ever run a marathon, mind you, to compare, but I was literally aching absolutely everywhere. Giving birth really is a full body experience. I mean, who would have thought it? Like, even my toes ached. Like, how is that even a thing? But yeah, so just take things nice and slow, make yourself as comfy as possible, and embrace the fat pants, take the painkillers if you need to, and actually never underestimate the power of a hot water bottle, as things like long hot soaks in the bath may now be few and far between, I'm afraid. Well, now this is your first baby, so you might end up with stitches or grazes. I did with Phoebe's birth, and they actually weren't too bad. They were just a bit, eye-watering when you go for a wee, but you can use like a jug of water when you go to the toilet, which definitely helps to take the edge off. Just pour the jug of water down the toilet as you wee, or if you don't mind, just wee in the shower, as at this point you have no dignity left anyway. Everyone's seen everything, so just go for it. The worst / funniest thing that I totally was not expecting was the swelling down there. My goodness me, things get swollen, and it kind of feels like you're walking around with a giant a giant solid poo between your legs, basically. But no, it's just all your massive swollen vagina in there. It's a very strange sensation. Actually, a great tip I heard was to put your maternity pads in the fridge or the freezer to help with the swelling, which I thought was genius. I didn't try this, so if you do, you'll have to let me know how you get on. Now, aside from stingy wheeze and ginormous vajayjays, I need to warn you that going for your first poo is a whole different story. First of all, you will have just pushed a baby out, so you can definitely do this. It just feels so strange, like really strange. It almost feels like all your intestines and your insides are just going to fall out down the toilet. So I promise you they're not. You just don't push too hard and try to poo as naturally as possible. Just make sure to wait until you're definitely ready to go. So you need as little assistance as possible, and you can just breathe it out. I'm sure you probably think of me now when you're doing this first poo and think, oh, that's what she meant. I suppose I'd be quite privileged if that does happen. Is that weird? Anyway, well, what if you become a wonderful belly birthing mama? Well, you luckily escaped that swollen vagina and poo situation, but you will have to be super mindful that you've just had major abdominal surgery. So, how does it feel? Well, the scar site may feel numb for a couple of days, and then after that it will feel bruised and sore. To help yourself to heal, though, you need to just keep on moving. Slow but steady wins the race. When you need to cough, sneeze or laugh, make sure you hold your tummy and brace yourself, and also just stay on top of your painkillers. Just don't go doing cartwheels or anything stupid like that. And then back to talking about poos again, because I'm a nurse and this is what we're like. This time you may actually be a bit bunged up, so because of like the painkillers, and the actual surgery itself slows that whole system down. So what you need to do is stay well hydrated, keep moving, and then things will start getting back to normal again soon. You'll also need to go for wheeze often, as a full bladder will actually make you feel quite sore as it presses on the inner surgical sites, and it can get in the way of your uterus contracting back down. Your midwife will actually be in charge of looking at your actual wound and advising you on the care about this, but never ever hesitate to contact them though if you have any worries or something isn't looking right. And this also goes for any stitches down below, by the way, too. So there's a few areas that you can expect to feel sore after birth, but unfortunately this isn't even what they mean by after pains. Nope, sorry, there's a bit more discomfort us women have to go through. After pains are actually the pain you get as the uterus contracts back down to its original size. Now, I do have some good news. If this is your first baby, then these after pains aren't too bad, and they don't even last long. But it's when you have more babies that this pain feels worse each time. So yeah, you've got that to look forward to. It feels like a mild contraction, and if you're breastfeeding, you'll usually feel this happening during the feeds, as it's the oxytocin, the hormone that makes the uterus contract. Again, I highly recommend a hot water bottle to help here. So I think we've covered pain now. Let's move on to bleeding. Isn't one of the best things about being pregnant not having a period? But anyway, Aunt Flo is now back for a one-time special. So make sure you get yourself some big pants in the next size up for comfort and a better fit of those big maternity pads. And to be honest, I actually still wear mine now. These will probably become your new Bridget Jones knickers. I'm not kidding. And just in a quick nutshell for you for this video, just what to expect with bleeding. So at the beginning, you'll have a heavy flow of red or brown red loss, which may contain a few tomato or grape-sized clots just in the first couple of days. This is completely normal, so don't freak out. And then from day 3, you'll see a lighter flow, which is a darker brown or a pinkish red colour, and it may still pass very small clots, and then you'll continue to bleed less over the next days or weeks, and then eventually it will turn into a creamy coloured discharge known as lochia, which can last up to 6 weeks. The bleeding should never become heavier by the day unless you've overdone it, and it may become redder just momentarily. this is what happened to me, trying to be super mum with both Phoebe and Tommy. I was so eager to go and show off my baby and their new pram that I decided to go for a walk, as you do. I never go for walks. So I walked downtown, which I would normally always drive. No idea what I was thinking. But anyway, me and my friend walked into town with our new prams. Phoebe was only 10 days old at the time. And on the way back, we had to go up a hill. And it was just hell. My body could not cope. And I started to feel so weak and shaky. But me being me at the time, I had the whole, I'm fine attitude. Like Ross out of Friends. It's fine. I managed to get home, and then I just had a massive bleed when I got there. And then with Tommy, didn't learn my lesson. And at just 3 days old, I wanted to walk to pick Phoebe up from school. Again, would never walk to school. I would always just drive. But yeah, I wanted to walk. And I think it was snowing as well and icy, which anyway, I walked with my husband, who's 6 foot, so his strides are massive compared to mine. And I was just like trotting along, trying to keep up behind him. And then when I got home, I just burst into tears because my whole pelvis felt like a bag of jiggling bones. And then again, I just had a big bleed. So yeah, don't do any excessive walking in the first 2 weeks, just for the sakes of showing off your baby on your pram. It's not worth it. Minnie, however, was a lockdown baby, so my recovery with her was just being housebound, and I can confirm that actually resting heals your body much faster. I mean, who would have thought it? Your baby doesn't care if you're in a coffee shop. Your baby doesn't care if it's in a new pram. Your baby just cares if it's warm, fed and cuddled, and you need to look after yourself. So don't worry about what other people think, and just, don't go for walks, basically. Thanks for staying with me this far anyway, and I hope I'm not putting you off your first week as a mum too much. I promise this first week is actually as hard as it will ever get. But next, I do need to tell you to brace yourself for the no sleep club. For the first few days, you'll still be running on adrenaline, and then all of a sudden, boom, you'll be hit with a wall of tiredness on a level you never knew you never knew. You will also never sleep the same again. I don't know what it is, but for some reason, when you sleep, you will now have the reflexes of a cat at the slightest noise, and you will wake up no matter how tired you are. Dads, on the other hand, do not develop this skill, so try not to kill him while you're sat there in the middle of the night listening to him snore. I definitely, accidentally, on purpose, kick my husband quite a lot. So how do you cope with this change? It's quite simple. I promise you, you just will. There's no magic other than your amazing body will just adapt to it. You can help yourself, though, by just really remembering to embrace your postpartum time to do nothing other than rest, heal, and bond with your baby. Get rid of all the Instagram expectations and just slob about. Give yourself a week. That's all I ask. Just a week of doing nothing. It's something I never did with Phoebe and Tommy, as I've mentioned, my walks. But when I had Minnie in lockdown, I didn't have any other choice. And it did make such a difference in my healing and my energy levels. So it obviously works. And not only that, she was actually the most chilled out baby of the three. Whether that's why, I don't know. But something went right around that time. She's also the best sleeper too, touch wood. Phoebe was a terrible sleeper. Tommy was and still is. So basically, I've not slept a full night in 11 years. I've totally failed in the sleeping children department. So inside the actual course, I have a special guest sleep specialist to help teach you the right way, which I'm so excited and envious about. Now, what else have you got to look forward to? Yes, the sore boobs. If you're breastfeeding, you'll be producing colostrum in the first few days. So at this stage, you might not feel any difference, perhaps just slightly fuller. Then when the milk comes in, it'll be boom, hello, massive boobs. They may feel heavy, full and tender, and this actually will happen whether you're breastfeeding or not. And if you're not breastfeeding, these very full boobs will stay full for about 10 days, or it can be longer until your body basically figures out it needs to turn off the milk factory. During this time, they may feel tight and uncomfortable and may even leak milk. So it's really important, if you're not breastfeeding, to not stimulate them. Otherwise, your brain won't get the message and they'll just continue to make milk. So try and avoid the need to express any milk for comfort. You need to manage any discomfort with ice, a good supportive bra, and painkillers if you need to. The old wives' tale of cabbage leaves from the fridge is actually a really good one for comfort. Just pop them, get them out the fridge, the cup shape anyway, so pop them in your bra and feels like heaven. If you are breastfeeding, then they will continue to go between full and soft on each side, sometimes opposite to each other, which is a great look, but once feeding is established, they will find their way. Feeding is such a huge, massive subject, so I have saved all the other information for inside the course. Otherwise, you will turn off this video and just have like brain overload. So guess what? There's no more pain. Woohoo! Well, unless you get piles, headaches, or mastitis. But anyway, let's talk about how you might be feeling in your own head. So hormones, as we know, are crazy things, and they're no different after the birth. So pair this with tiredness and everything else I've mentioned, and yeah, it hopefully highlights the fact that you need to go easy on yourself. So first of all, do not beat yourself up if you don't give birth and feel an instant connection of flurry of love. It's totally normal to not feel like this after such a massive event, and I think we have this huge expectation on us to all of a sudden have this massive wave of love like we've never felt before. And some women just don't, and because they set themselves up thinking they should be instantly in love and happy and wonderful and all warm and fuzzy, they instantly just start their motherhood journey off on the wrong foot, and it's a load of bullshit. You're not a bad mom because you didn't have that instant reaction. You've been through a huge, massive change physically and emotionally. You just have to be kind to yourself. Give yourself a bit of love and kindness and just get used to everything. It does not make you a bad mum. I cannot stress that enough, okay? It's also normal to have baby blues as well. It's 80% normal, in fact. These blues normally come after the second or third day, and they are all hormone related, as you have a massive dip in estrogen and progesterone. They make you high 1 minute and crying the next. It's an actual emotional roller coaster, and it can last up to 2 weeks. And it will pass once your body starts to regulate those hormones again. As mental health is such an important topic, I want to give you the best advice. So inside the course, I have another lovely special guest who is a women's nurturing coach. She is the most special, magical woman, and she is giving us all the self-love and coping tips we can do to look after ourselves and feel in control. I just love her. Now, as daunting as this whole video probably sounds, I'm so sorry, it's just a week. It will get easier, I promise. And this phase actually goes by faster than the time you need to appreciate it. You have definitely got this. I really hope you have enjoyed this whirlwind of a video, and it's given you some proper real life insight on what to expect in that very first week as a mum. So you can now process it all beforehand and not have it all as a shock when it comes to it. I wish you so much love and luck on the arrival of your beautiful baby, and I thank you so much for giving me your time. I hope to speak again soon. Take care.